Hey everybody, welcome to episode 2 of the Arcadia National Podcast. Here is your panelists once again, the crew in the basement of the bar. I am Dave. I am sipping a Ligonia IPA from Four River Brewing. I'm about to take my first sip.
Let's hear it.
I'm gonna, here it is now.
Sip into the mic.
Couldn't hear it.
Foam mustache alert.
That's tasty. To my left, who do I have?
Hi, my name is Amy Poulin. I am the second-ranked Arkanoid player at Arcadia. I am drinking a whiskey ginger. It's made with Maine Craft Distilling 50 Stone whiskey and Maine Root Ginger Brew.
Woo!
Super local, super good.
Hey, Sarah here. This week it's my turn to be sick, so I'm just drinking some bubble water.
And I am J-Lo. I'm here drinking a drink that is the neighbor to Amy's drink, the Rising Tide Daymark American Copper Ale. Let me get my sip in here too. Absolutely delicious.
It sounded good.
Nice light flavor. So we still have a lot of stuff to talk to, as is always true, because we are a bar and we do events all the time. I think the first one we kind of want to talk about is our very successful bingo night.
Oh yeah, we had bingo night this past Monday?
Yeah.
Yes, we're gonna do it once monthly now because it was super fun.
Can we not have it on NEPL night though? That was nuts.
Whoopsies. We're gonna. Sorry. So I will say that my favorite part of bingo night was the fact that I got to go to South Portland and buy lots of things from the dollar store for prizes.
Can you tell us about some of those prizes?
Yes, I would love to. The first prize that was chosen by the person who correctly got a bingo was a box of Shrek cereal. It was Ogre
Wow.
O's. Shrek Ogre O's.
Were they ogre flavored?
It was all ogre once they won.
Is ogre flavored onion flavored?
Yes. No.
Oh, God.
There are lots of layers.
It seemed to be Fruit Loops, but with Shrek.
I think there was a lighter blue one in there. It's still upstairs, I think.
Yes, it is. It's on top of the.
They actually wound up forgetting their cereal.
That's okay. We ate most of it. There were some WWE items, a CM Punk water bottle, a Daniel Bryan
the best in the world
paddle game thing.
The paddle ball. That was pretty good. I particularly enjoyed the grand prize, which was given away for the last bingo of the night, which was a mini Avengers tabletop pinball game.
Yes, we said we were giving away an Avengers pinball, and that was in fact true. It was just the $11 kids aisle of Walmart edition. But it was really fun, and it still counts as a flipper pinball game if you want to play that in the NAPL.
Or in any competitive league, really.
Yes, this is very true.
You can't tilt it.
No, you can't.
Oh, that's perfect for you guys.
I tried.
Did any elderly folks show up for bingo?
I think the most elderly we got was probably like 36. But
Yeah.
I'm going to encourage people next month to dress as old as possible. I really want to make an effort to, maybe you can, get some mothballs and just like leave your clothes in them the night before.
And the smell.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
I will be wearing an adult diaper.
As is custom.
Which is custom.
And
Which is not any different than any other day at the bar.
It was great. It was just so surprising. There was just so many people there who, there's some people who are here at the bar every day of the week because they like hanging out, they like the staff, they like the games, and then there's people who are here, a few times a month, and there was everyone who has almost ever been here, new and old, and they brought friends, and it was so many people, and it was a great idea.
Yeah,
it was a great idea. Thank you, Sarah,
That's awesome.
for bringing that back from New York.
Yeah, thanks, Brooklyn.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Shout out Brooklyn, Brooklyn hype. So Sarah mentioned that while we were doing bingo night, we also were engaged in NEPL, which stands for the New England Pinball League, a league that 3 of the members of this podcast are involved in. So the New England Pinball League is I counts as amateur league, right?
Amateur, pro-am.
A pro-am pinball league that is comprised of meetups in Maine, in New Hampshire, in Vermont, in Rhode Island, in Massachusetts, and Connecticut.
I believe
Am I missing
so.
any?
I think that's it.
So the whole conglomeration, each different region meets once a week. So in southern Maine, we have 3 different locations. Down in New Hampshire, they have, I think, 2, but usually they only meet at one
Pinball
Wizards in Pelham, New Hampshire. Massachusetts usually meets at Lanes and Games. Vermont meets at
Tilt
Arcade. And Connecticut meets at the Sanctum. And Rhode Island
I think it's private.
wherever Rhode Island is.
Yeah, wherever Rhode Island.
Where is Rhode Island?
And so the way it works is you are matched up with a group of players who are in your region, and you can play in other places. We just happen to play with a similar group. And the way it works is you will be in a group of 3, usually a group of 4, and you will all play the machine together. For those of you that don't know, almost all modern pinball machines can be played multiplayer, meaning you don't have to take turns. So one person plays the game, the next person plays the game, one person plays the game. You actually take turns playing individual balls, which is pretty neat. And then basically you are scored based on how well you do on the machine. So if the 4 of us, Amy, Dave, Sarah, and I, were playing a machine, and we played out our game and played out our balls, and Sarah got the best score. I got the worst score. Dave got second, and Amy got third. The points would be arranged pretty fairly. Sarah would get 10, I'd get 2, Dave would get 6, and Amy would get 4. And you play 4 machines. Each person will pick a machine. It's a pretty neat format, and it all culminates in the finals, which we do after 8 weeks of play.
And there's actually been a lot of pinball happenings recently. We just had the state championships, which are kind of the year-end for the International Flipper Pinball Association.
The IFPA.
So if you are in the top 16 point getters in your state, you all compete in a March Madness bracket. Our own Jake Erskine, who takes care of all our machines so very well, actually came in second place in the main state regional, and since the first place person can't go and represent us, he will go to Vegas.
All right.
Along with his wife Teresa, and they will both be representing.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really badass. It's cool that we have so many great players locally and that get to hang out at the bar. I attempted to play in the New Hampshire state finals because I did not get enough points to qualify for Maine, but I got enough points to make the hour-and-a-half drive and play in New Hampshire.
How
so
did
I
that
did.
go?
I went in ranked 14th out of 16, and I left ranked 11th. So I think that's a win for me.
Yes.
That'll teach him.
I lost my first round horribly. I had bad scores on machines I'm decent at. And then I played those machines again in the second round and did significantly better. Of course, that didn't matter so much anymore.
See, that's where you went wrong. The strategy of picking games you know, but not the machine you know. Most people don't realize that each pinball machine is different, whether it be, Avatar and another Avatar sitting next to each other, they will not be the same.
If you live in Portland, Maine, and you are listening to this podcast and you want to see this in action, please come and play the Lord of the Rings here at the bar, and then go to Amigos and see just how horrible a pinball machine can be.
Oh my goodness gracious.
You will be so frustrated at you can't hit any shot, the flippers are bad. I think they put a screw in the middle of the machine just to make you not hit certain shots. It's just really bad.
Wow.
Yeah, so please do that.
Yeah, play, yes.
That's your challenge.
This is our endorsement to go to another
It's your
local
homework.
business.
Always a good thing.
Play a really
please come back,
shitty
though.
pinball machine.
Yeah, bad.
This is now a R-rated podcast. 'Cause I said
It is.
shitty.
Good work.
Yep.
So this is a nice segue. We, as part of we love pinball here at Arcadia. We have so many machines and they're so great. As part of a sort of natural progression of that, we've begun to stream pinball via twitch.tv, which is a website where you can watch people play video games. You can watch people... Bob Ross was on Twitch for, I believe, a week straight, a straight-up marathon of all the things that are going on.
I think, Amy, you tuned in, too.
Yeah, so when you
bit.
guys were streaming here, I think it was the night of a snowstorm or something,
Yeah.
and so I put it on at home. It was on my TV for hours and hours at a time, and it was awesome. It was actually, it felt like being at the bar. I think if you don't already come to the bar, that's a great way to kind of just get a little look inside, see what it's like, watch some really good pinball players. If you're not a pinball player, it will be extremely impressive.
We'll look real good.
But it's fun. It's fun. It's really fun to watch.
Yeah, it actually, what you were saying worked. We were streaming a different day, and one of the New England Pinball League players from New Hampshire was watching us on stream and decided to get in their car and drive on over and come play with us on
That's
stream.
awesome.
Austin.
Yeah.
That was pretty rad.
Yeah. Showed up an hour later, ready to go.
it's so great because there's the streaming community for different video games is so different. League of Legends, which is purportedly the most popular game in the world right now. There are streamers on there who will have upwards of 50,000 viewers at one time.
Yeah, just watching them play a toxic game.
Play a game with a bad community and people yell. But I mean,
whatever it is.
That being said, Dave and I both play League of Legends.
I just played it like an hour ago, and I lost.
And then you'll come to things that like Mario Maker, which has a really active community of people making levels and playing levels. And then you can get to something like Majora's Mask, Legend of Zelda on N64, and there's like a community of people who speedrun it, a community of people who run it casually.
I think Mario Maker might be my favorite thing to watch on Twitch.
It's really
like
fun.
just to watch somebody try to do levels. Like building is one thing and that's cool, but I think watching somebody try to do really, really hard levels, well designed but hard, because I think there's a difference in Super Mario Maker between like you just being an ass and making a horrible level that nobody can do. And then like, oh, this one was like, it took me 20 tries, but it was fun. Like, that was a good level.
You get really invested in watching those, like somebody who gets so close, and then falls into the pit of despair.
Yeah.
Or onto some spikes, or gets hit by a Bowser fireball, or
Out of nowhere.
by a piranha plant. But anyway, so the community of people who stream pinball is actually pretty small right now. There's a streamer out of Chicago, we talked about him last time, named Deadflip, or his name's Jack Danger. But he streams on Deadflip Pinball Streaming, and he will get into the thousands, like 2,000 viewers in a week or at a time. There's another streamer out of the Midwest, and there's
sometimes New Hampshire will stream. Dave Shoemaker,
Buffalo Pinball streams.
Georgia streamed there, I think, finals.
Yeah, this flippin' podcast streams.
They do, and then the Sanctum also streams out of Connecticut.
Yep.
And they've got a really cool rig where they have a bank of about, I think it's 10 machines or so, and they have a rig that is set up above it that has 3 cameras on it and a microphone, and it can just slide into position on any of the machines.
That's very cool.
So they can immediately stream one, sheep the other, stream the other, sheep the other.
Sheep.
Meryl Streep the other. It's rad. And so we've begun to stream pinball under the main competitive gaming flag, and it is just so much fun. The best part about Twitch is being able to read the chat and just interact with people. So like we've started to already figure out who
gets really angry,
and Pizza Destroyer and Girl Who Plays Pinball and C Cameron 62. There's the users who somebody named Stereohead, who I think watches us from Germany.
Yeah, we were talking to that German guy for a while.
Just popped in a stream and I'm like, oh, this is so cool. It's so rad. I love Twitch. Twitch is the future, I think.
And we're going to be starting a new series, actually, at the bar. Probably, we're trying to figure out a day, maybe Thursday night. It's going to be called Pinball After Dark, where after the bar closes, we're going to get drunk and play pinball. And we're going to stream it. And it's going to be until, it's going to be like, 1:30 to 3 in the morning. And what else are you doing? You're not sleeping. You can't sleep.
No, you're just going to watch
play pinball.
Dave and J-Lo scream
Our
their heads off
California
of pinball
listeners
machines.
will still be awake.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're gonna go home from the bar. You're gonna not go to bed, and you're just gonna watch the bar some more. It's great.
It's gonna be sweet.
Yeah.
Main Competitive Gaming just had their the first Street Fighter V tournament in the entire state of Maine. So cool. Oh
Yeah, there were 26 entrants. Probably the #1 ranked competitor, Sheldon from Bangor, came with his crew. We had some Portsmouth crew come up, and of course, Sheldon ended up taking it down, I think, pretty handily. I don't know if he lost it all, but the game was literally out for
a few hours.
18 hours. I'm going to guess that he had the beta, and a few other people did as well. But I'm excited to see what happens in next month's tournament when people have a month under their belt. So if you haven't played it yet, which you probably haven't because the game just came out, now's a really good time to put some practice in, get in at the beginning of a game. And look, I suck at fighters. Mortal Kombat I can do a little better. Street Fighter is just horrible. But we have a Mad Catz stick here. If you want to use a joystick, just come into the bar, sit in front of it, and practice.
And just get your ass beat.
Yeah, because you're gonna.
Oh my
you're
gosh, the grind.
Yeah.
I suggested both Amy and Sarah should both play. You can start at the bottom level. You can start at the ground and just work your way up because there's. I'm awful at Street Fighter. I was awful at Street Fighter 4, and Street Fighter 5 is noticeably easier.
Okay.
For a new player.
Yeah.
I have no tech. I'll put that out there. As any competitive players listening, I suck. You will body me. I will go 0-2 every tournament. But for casual players,
It could be a great time.
Yeah, it's definitely a good time.
All right, what do you think, Sarah? You want to? You want to face off?
I gotta pry myself away from Yoshi's Woolly World. I just can't stop. I can't. It's so
How is
cute.
it?
It's so cute. You're made of yarn, and you run around hitting things with yarn and pulling yarn apart, and like everything is made of yarn or some kind of fabric. And your goal is to collect yarn throughout the level so that you can stitch your friends back to life.
That sounds adorable.
Yeah.
That sounds like it's full of nice life lessons.
Yeah.
About fixing your friends.
About fixing your friends with yarn. I'm gonna yarn you.
And if you don't have any friends, make friends
Yeah, out of yarn.
Thanks, guys.
The aesthetic for Yoshi's Woolly World is so cohesive. It just works so well. If you've played Yoshi's Island, which is on the Super Nintendo, which is considered Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, I believe, Baby Mario is on your back, and you're a Yoshi, and you're running around trying to save him, or keep him safe, rather. And it's adorable, very cute aesthetic, but it's very much that sort of Super Mario World 2D 16-bit graphics. Yoshi's Woolly World. Oh, just so cute! It's so cute. Everything looks like you can touch the screen, and we convinced someone the other night to touch the screen. It's like, oh yeah, this is how it works. It feels like yarn. Try it. They were pretty drunk, admittedly.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a softball. You can also play co-op.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Really?
I've been sitting just playing alone because that's all I want to do right now. And someone will come over and be like, "Oh, what are you playing?" And I'm like, "Oh, you can play too, but don't run ahead, because if you make me miss a yarn, I'm gonna be real mad."
More life lessons.
Yeah.
Don't make Sarah miss any yarn.
Cry.
What new games have we played this week? I've played a couple new games. I think we talked about Push Fight last week.
We did.
I've been playing that a lot at the bar, so please come play Push Fight with us. It's
Push
really
Fight
fun.
is probably the best strategy game that you will casually play ever,
Yep.
and the most grueling strategy game that you will ever try to win at
Yes.
ever.
I played this new game called Gruff.
Oh, I noticed it.
It
yeah.
is a game where it is a head-to-head, almost a deck drafting type of game where you're playing mutated goats against each other. Some of the goats are like underwater slimy goats. Some are just really weird looking. Doesn't look like a goat. Looks like something that came out of like a Hellraiser movie type of goat.
A Hellraiser goat?
Yes, but it's just a bunch of goats, and I did a playthrough with Foley, and we probably took us about an hour. I would play it again. It took a full playthrough to actually understand the game completely.
So I like to talk about that being the aha moment.
Yes.
So the aha moment came at the end of the playthrough for you.
Yes, it was okay. We didn't know what we were doing when you pick out the cards that you get in your deck. Essentially, there are maybe 15 goat factions or 15 different types of goats, and you pick those 3 of the 15, and then out of those decks. Let's say that I pick, underwater goat. There are 25 underwater goat cards. I only pick 8 of them for my deck.
So it's sort of you draft a faction and slim that
down even more. So,
down.
so you'll take 3 different factions, take 8 out of each faction, and then somehow create a cohesive deck. I would say it's a medium game. I would not suggest it if you enjoy light bar games. This is one that you'll actually need to pay attention to.
So this ain't no meow.
This ain't no meow, which I still think is great.
How many goat-themed games are currently available at Arcadia?
So we've got Gruff, we've got Goat Simulator, we've got Betrayal at Goats on the Hill, Settlers of Goatan.
Push Goat.
Yep.
I mean, we've talked about goats.
I mean,
now, 2
Agricola has a
podcasts
house goat in
row.
it, so I'm going to count that.
Goats Against
Cards
Humanity.
Oh my God! You're the worst.
Well, the C version is Cards Against Huge Manatees.
Yes, exactly. Sea mammals.
Yes.
J-Lo and I played a new game, and I don't know what it was called, with Sage and other Sage.
Oh, Burgle Bros.
Burgle Bros is great.
Ooh.
I played that for
Goodness.
the first time this week, too. Tim Flowers, what's up? You're awesome. One of our favorite board game designers, Tim Flowers.
So Burgle Bros is this really cool game about trying to break into a building and rob it. So we are all thieves of the same ilk, and we are trying to break into this building, avoid being detected by the guards, using various abilities to maybe delay the guards' movement, hurry up our movement. We're trying to hack the different alarms, lasers, and cameras, and it is so neat. And we're trying to find the combination to the safe through this very cool sort of information revealing mechanic. It's really neat. It's when we this is a game that we did see at PAX South.
Yes.
Because just in case anyone forgot, Dave and I went to PAX South, and it was way cool. That it's actually was a 3-tiered tower. Like, so you're choosing you enter on the first floor, and you have to sort of navigate it and figure out, and you have to reveal the alarms, reveal the traps, you have to reveal the safe, you have to reveal portions of this map in order to find the even possibility of being able to open the safe.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of dice rolling, luck variant to it, but the fact that it is a multi-tiered game, and even if it's a game that this is my mark for having a good game. Did I lose and still have fun? Yes, that's a good game. And the first game that I played of Burgle Bros, we lost, but it was really fun. Same thing with a game that I played this week for the first time, Mysterium. I lost it, and I had fun, went back and played it a couple days later and won. Highly recommend Mysterium. You are a ghost trying to... you've died, and everybody else at the table is a psychic, and you are trying to reveal information to the psychics at the table. But it's only through pictures, so you have to kind of say, okay, this person killed me with I know as the ghost that this person killed me with a
candlestick. Yes!
Yes. So I'm going to give them a picture of something that has a lot of light in it, or maybe there's a chandelier. You're trying to piece that information together. It's kind of a great mix-up of code names, some Dixit maybe.
Oh man.
Perhaps some what's that other game that I just ordered it? Conundrum, the one where it's like it's a
Concept.
Concept. Got it.
Thank you, Concept.
Boom.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Shout out to
Concept
Spencer
is
McGrath.
Awesome, and it should be at the bar soon too. But yeah, those are the games that I played that have been new. Any new games for you, Amy?
Not really. I mean, I am so emotionally invested in Pandemic Legacy, and
no spoilers. No spoilers.
I know this is a game that
We just finished August.
cannot even talk about, because if you are ever going to play it,
You'll hate us.
I can tell you nothing about it because you have to see for yourself.
There's a bit of a rivalry because Dave, Amy, and 2 others are in a game that is ahead of the game that Sarah, myself, and 2 others are in. So they have more information than us, and every time they're playing, I want to go and hang out with my friends, but they're playing ahead of me,
That's
and
okay.
I can't
Don't
do
look
it.
at the board.
It's fine
Don't look at
because
the
we're
board.
doing way better.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
We will. Oh, I hope so.
We'll see.
Pandemic Legacy, for those of you that don't know, is a cooperative game of trying to... a cooperative board game of trying to save the world from various diseases. It's cooperative, so you're all trying to work together. So one win, all win, one lose, all lose. Each player plays a different character that has different roles. Some players are better at moving around the map. Some players are better at sharing information and trying to move objectives around. And you're basically trying to cure a bunch of diseases that are breaking up all over the world.
Before you play Legacy 2, like, just play one game of the base set. You don't have to, because I know that some people in both groups have not. But play one game of the base just to kind of understand the rules before you jump into it, especially if nobody in the game that you're playing has played Legacy or has played Pandemic before. Make sure you play one game of just base Pandemic, and then spring the $55-$60 for Pandemic Legacy, because
It is so worth
we have
it.
gotten, 14 weeks out of it already?
We've been playing since
14
November,
gameplays, yeah, we
and
have.
It's
And it's something we look forward to every Sunday.
yeah.
Oh, it's so good. So to further explain the way that the Legacy game works, in most tabletop games, or most games in general, you'll play once. If you make it from beginning to end, cool. In cooperative games like Pandemic, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. In a Legacy game, you are literally playing through an entire set of games. So there's 12 months of game. Not 12 literal months, but 12 supposed game months of play. And each time, whether you win or lose, the game changes, the map changes, you will add rules, you'll add mechanics. The game, our board looks completely different from when we started, and the game that Sarah and I are playing looks completely different from the game that Dave and Amy are playing.
Yeah.
And things are buildings are exploding, people are rioting, airports are destroyed, Madagascar is screwed if you've played the Flash pandemic game where you're trying to infect everyone.
And it's always Madagascar.
Madagascar is the last place because they close their ports so early. Pandemic legacy versions of games are just, they're so cool because they layer in things and there's still a ton of surprises, which is why we won't spoil anything.
You put stickers on the board, you rip up cards. It feels like
destruction. Oh my god, it feels so good to destroy
at first
pieces
it's
of a game.
hard.
At first, it's very hard. We wanted to save our cards in like a little
stressful.
baggie.
Yeah, and then once you start, it's like I want to rip up more cards.
I hate this card.
Yeah, you start looking at it, I'm like, do I need this anymore? Like, I kind of want to rip it, but do I need it? Should I keep it for a little bit? I don't know.
Will we forget what we're supposed to do the next time we play if we rip up this card? Usually not. Oh my gosh, Pandemic Legacy is it's the hype.
Definitely go try it. So we've got about 3.5 minutes left. Let's just go like nerdy stuff that you're doing. Doesn't have to do with the bar. What have you been into? I will say that I've found an internet video that I really like that I've watched a lot. It's ASMR Arby's. This is something new to me.
I have also been watching the ASM Arby's
It's really good.
It's
as well.
So what is the definition?
Well, if you Wikipedia will tell you that ASMR.
So loud.
I'm sorry. Should I talk softer
Yes.
and slower?
You can look up the definition of ASMR on Wikipedia, but basically, it's purely an auditory experience of a combination of voice and music and maybe subject matter that is supposed to literally give you physical tingling pleasure, starting from the base of your scalp is what every single definition says.
Yes.
And then spreading throughout your body. And if you get a chance to check out Remedial Game Theories on YouTube.
ASM Arby's.
ASM Arby's.
It's a gentleman named Patrick who has a very soothing voice describing the menu items of Arby's.
I can't even do it, I'm sorry.
And if you want, I think we're going to put out a premium edition of this podcast where we say the exact same things we said, but we're going to do it like this.
Pandemic Legacy.
And that'll be about $99,000 per podcast.
I'm sorry.
That's great.
I'm literally the worst at this ever.
I will also just throw a quick nod to our next podcast. We're going to be talking a little bit about Brewmania, which is our wrestling-themed beer event that's coming up on April 3rd.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And we'll give you a little preview of the beers that local breweries are brewing from the likes of Foundation, Rising Tide, Nice, and a few more. So look for that on the next podcast. Amy, you got anything?
Daniel Bryan quit wrestling. Wade Barrett
my
quit
god,
wrestling.
my heart.
These are the things that I'm thinking about this week.
Just constantly crying.
It's hard because Daniel Bryan represented so much for a lot of people, I think. And knowing that he lived his dream for 15 years and has a lot of money and a brewful wife makes it a little easier.
And he's
feel
gonna
so
make
bad
beautiful,
for him.
Sorry,
beautiful
Daniel
wrestling.
Bryan.
So I don't feel too bad for him in that respect, but I am really sad that the yes solution is
Daniel Bryan,
has
if
come
you
to
are
an end.
listening, I do feel bad for you, and you should come hang out with
We
me.
miss you.
Come to the bar.
We'll play games.
Please come to the bar.
Please come to the bar.
Sarah, anything for you?
I've been messing around on Twitch a little bit more and seeing what there is to offer for streaming, which we talked about a little bit. And I came across somebody who's making a slightly oversized perler bead design of one of their streaming emotes.
Oh my goodness.
And I was just like, this is what this is. This is great. And there was like 300 people watching this happen.
Watching someone literally make little perlers
Yeah.
of Twitch emotes. It's so good. The addition of the creative channel on Twitch is just so wacky.
There's
It's
so much
wacky.
entertainment. It's better than YouTube.
I am now re-excited. I'm excited again for Fallout 4 because a recent expansion just got announced. And for those of you that don't know, which you probably do, Fallout 4 is set in the Northeast, primarily the Massachusetts.
Boston.
Boston, Mass. I don't know. I can't do an accent. I've been here for too long. I'm sorry. But the newest expansion coming out, one of them, they announced 3 of them. One of them is called Far Harbor. That's us. That's us. It's me. We did it. We did it. We got it. We're in the game. So they're literally, I think I read a little blurb that it's going to be literally one of the largest down DLC like as far as area goes of almost any game.
I'm just kind of secretly hoping there's an Arcadia National Bar.
I know.
I've heard rumors that there is in this DLC. So
Bar Harbor is a locale in Down East Maine, and Far Harbor is such a great play on the name. So there's literally a picture of a beached lobster boat. Is
it? Are you sure it's not DeMillo's? Because I am really hoping to see a beach DeMillo's on my TV.
Oh
cool.
my God, so exciting.
That's all the time we have for today. We got to go play Pinball League because it's Wednesday night, and Wednesday night's Pinball League night.
Free pinball for everyone, and if you would like to take a swing at the Arcadia Pinball League, it's only $5 for a buy-in, and it is a lot of fun. You'll get paired up with, even if you don't know anything about pinball, you'll get paired up with someone who might know,
about
yes.
or might, I don't know, depends.
I played once a long time ago when I was paired with Jake, the guy who's our
state
representative,
champion, yeah.
state champion.
Yeah,
so don't hesitate if you are not a pro pinball player to come in and give it a shot, because it's a lot of fun.
I'll buy you in. I'll put that out there.
So we want to thank, of course, Arby's for
Curly fries
for existing. They don't sponsor us, but we just want to thank them every
Not
week.
yet.
Always. Thank you,
Arby's,
We're working
if you're
on that.
listening.
We're gonna give you updates at the end of every show to see if we have that Arby's sponsorship yet. Next podcast, I will have horsey sauce in studio. So keep tuned. But thanks for tuning in this week. Once again, not brought to you by Arby's, but maybe soon. This has been the Arcadia National Podcast. I am Dave.
I'm Amy.
I'm Sarah.
And I am JLo. Play more games, play more anything, have fun, be a nerd. See ya. Arcadia National Podcast was recorded live in the basement of Arcadia National Bar in Portland, Maine. Our theme song was produced by Toon Food, and our pinball skills have been fueled by booze and pure frustration-based rage.
Judging by the image that we see right here, it appears to be their standard iconic Arby's curly fries, with a bit of a twist in that they've covered them in a nacho cheese, some sort of mayonnaise or sour cream sauce, maybe a ranch or peppercorn sauce, and speaking of pepper, there's their peppered bacon sprinkled over the top of the fries. So this is obviously a really innovative approach to sort of taking what you have on hand and spicing it up a little bit.